Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Captain Shack here, and I've got something new for you guys. This is Empyrion Galactic Survival, and it's pretty cool. This is actually the first look, probably the first gameplay footage on YouTube. The devs said that I was the first person that they sent the demo to because I was one of the first people to cover it on my channel when they first released the trailer. The trailer that I showed, it was this big sandbox space game where you could, think of Space Engineers, kind of, except you could actually land on planets. You saw a moon out in the distance, you could go to it. And the universe is supposed to be populated with hundreds of star systems. Now keep in mind, they are right now going through their KickStarter. This is the demo of the earliest of alpha versions, like proof and concept stuff. There's a lot missing here, right? Like this is super early access, but I'm going to show you what they have available so far before they're even funded. They've been able to do this. Let's go to resume game. I've only got 3 maps to check out. We'll start off on the actual planet's surface and we'll go from there. So let's load game up. Now, one of the biggest features for this game, I think, what makes it unique, is the ability to take off on a planet's surface, see this giant sprawling planet, and then go up into the atmosphere and then break off into space. Sadly, in this demo, we don't have that tech yet. So I'm going to have to load the individual maps, but you will be able to see what they've got so far. Now, it does have kind of a Space Engineers building mechanic. This base right here, I'll turn on my jetpack. This base is built out of bricks. We're on a desert planet, an alien world. I don't know what's here. I don't believe any NPCs are actually on yet, but in the demo video that they show in the trailer, they've got some really gnarly looking NPCs and monsters that can attack you. And that's why you need the big guns to defend yourself. We've got some gun turrets here that the base is actually defended by. You saw my spaceship down there. We're going to take that for a spin. We'll go up into orbit in a second, but I want to take a little walk around. Now, controls are kind of similar to Space Engineers. I can switch off to third person. I'm jetpacking around right now. Keep in mind, most of this, I believe, is placeholder art. Jump over here. So you see the 2 symbols on the bottom right-hand corner above my health and food and oxygen, which you'll notice those are new for a space crafting game like this one. Yeah, you actually have to eat. You have your health, just like in other games, and then you've got oxygen. Now they're gonna actually, one of their goals in developing this is they're gonna actually simulate having oxygen, airflow through a facility, through capital ships, which is something that people have asked for quite a bit in I love that jumping animation. Whoop. In Space Engineers. Waha! There's no falling damage yet. I mean, keep in mind, super early access, but let's go inside the base. It's early morning here on Planet Bob. That's what I've named this. Sun's just now creeping up over the horizon there. We got some cargo containers. I actually kind of dig the texture of the cargo containers and how they look. Just walk up to them and hit O. Seems like all these menus are activated using O. Now, there are some pretty interesting weapons automatically in the game. Now, in this demo, they were kind enough to supply me with a crafting menu. I don't know if the actual game will have this, but you get a creative menu. I guess if you're playing creative mode, you just want to build stuff. And there is some pretty gnarly weapons in this. Like, one thing that I have to say about Space Engineers is there's no weapon selection, really. You get one gun, and it's not something that they really focused on. But in this, there's actually going to be creatures on these planets, hostile creatures, out to get you. So they've been nice enough to supply us with a few weapons to deal with the problem. Now, there's going to be some placeholder sound assets in this, I can guarantee you, because you'll probably recognize the pulse rifle's sound effect. It's a little different, but I hear the alien's pulse rifle in there pretty substantially, but it's pretty wicked. Like, I actually have some weapons here. Let's switch in and out. Oops. It's a little bit of a freak out. Switch some weapons here. Sniper rifle. What is this? This is the drill. We'll get that in a second. Handgun. And then a rocket launcher. Actually, I haven't tried this one yet. Let's try it against the wall. I'm breaking shit. Already breaking shit. All right, very cool, very cool. So here's the drill. Now, like what you'd expect from a crafting game, there is some type of destructive terrain. In this one, I kind of dig it. There we go. This is a fucking flamethrower drill, like a plasma cutter or something. Now, it doesn't look like mining is implemented just yet because I hit I in my inventory and I don't actually have any items in there, so I don't think I'm collecting anything. But look at that. So there's some nice destructive terrain. You can really dig down pretty fast. I can't stress enough how early access this is. But I'm just digging a hole. All right, so let me pounce out of the hole. They have a power system much like Space Engineers. So we've got like reactors in there that are running and powering the lights. There's even, if you can see in that room right there, and you know what, we'll turn off the jetpack, we'll run in there real quick, actually growing what looks like tomatoes. So you've actually got to grow your own food, which is pretty sweet. Let me go ahead and pick some of these fruits. So you get kind of like a Minecraft-esque survival, and only certain planets are going to supply you with some of the things that you need, at least how I understand it. So on some planets, you might be able to grow crops really well. On other planets, you'll find really good minerals and resources, and you're going to want to travel and explore these. All right, so let's bail out of here real quick. There's our overhead map. Wanted to mess around with this a bit. They don't have a galaxy map implemented. What is this? What are you? I don't know what those are. But I want to know now. We're going to go check it out. All right, there we go. Had a little bit of a technical hiccup up, and the game actually crashed while I was flying about. So let me just get back in the ship here. We'll take a look around and see what this thing is on our map. We're actually picking it up. So the sun's just now coming up. We're going to burn over there. You see the view distance is pretty massive, actually. Like, this whole planet is explorable, and they're randomly generated, at least how I understand it. So imagine having a universe to explore, multiplayer with a buddy, populated with NPCs, planets with multiple biomes, and you can actually build bases and forts and have just all kinds of crazy shenanigans going on. I'm not actually sure what this thing is. What this crystal thing is. These ships do have weapons. These are the plasma cannons, which we'll strafe the base real quick with some plasma cannon rounds. Why not? We can switch to the Gatling guns. Look at the damage. Now I'm kind of curious if they're going to do some type of damage modeling. So like the blocks will actually deform, something that you see in Space Engineers. But I was just thinking how cool it would be to have some type of PvP with ships flying around and blasting each other, and you've got different bases and military outposts. What kind of mechanics we'll have. But all right, so let's go ahead and take off. We're going to go up into orbit. So the way that it's going to work, and I'm going to do some editing magic here because this mechanic isn't actually implemented in this super early build. But what's going to happen is you're going to like fly up, and you're going to hit a certain point, and it's going to seamlessly, once the game is out, or hopefully even sooner than that, we're going to see a demo of it where we'll get that seamless transition from the atmosphere of this planet into the cloud layer and then into space, and you never hit a loading screen. But there is a point where it tells you you're approaching, you know, the so-and-so, you're approaching space, or you're approaching a moon, and it'll tell you in the bottom here. Switch to third person, you can see how my ship looks. You are leaving the orbit of Omicron. All right, here we go. Okay, we're back, and I loaded up the orbit map, and it immediately spawns you inside a small carrier-like capital ship. Still in the same outfit that I was in before, saw the same weapons. We'll take a look around. First thing, before I go running off the bridge, this is the bridge of this capital ship. I want to show you guys something. Here's the capital ship. Pretty cool. She's got a couple ships in her hangars. You got a half-built one on the right wing, and then you got a built one on the left. Now, when we left off, I was flying off the planet. That is Omicron down there. That was the planet that we were taken off from and broke through the atmosphere, and we got into space. At least that's how it's going to work. We're in an asteroid field. There's a moon out there. Now, unlike, and I'm going to keep comparing this to Space Engineers because it's probably the best game to do a comparison to. That would just be a skybox, but that's actually the planet and the moon are three-dimensional objects. And when the game is fully fleshed out, what the devs want to accomplish here is that you'll be able to actually land on that moon or land on that planet. If you can see it, you can go to it. At least that's the idea. Now, sadly, one of the things that I wanted to test, but I can't here, is the ability to open up my menu. Can't do it. Another thing that should be noted in this demo, which you probably just saw my fighters were like hanging through the walls there, their landing gear aren't actually turned on automatically when you load up a map, so just one of those bugs they're probably still figuring out. But let me go ahead and get out of here. I keep hitting T like this is Space Engineers, but I think it's actually, oh, it's O. That's what it is. So O is to get in and out of the cockpit. There we go. I'm out. Now let's go walk around the ship a little bit. Now one thing, turn off my jetpack, switch to first person. there's a big difference between this and Space Engineers. One of the goals that these guys want to accomplish, which I really dig, is that ships are going to take a type of fuel. You're actually going to have to worry about fuel, air, food, all that jazz. What's in this cargo box? Okay, we got some ore. Variety of ore there. Let's go downstairs. This is actually an elevator. Right now you just kind of walk over it and you can go straight down. It'll bring it down. What's back here? Ah, airlock. What's over here? Ah, another airlock. Okay, so that's how you get out. Let's go down here. Let's take a look around. Computer consoles. What's this thing? I don't know what that thing is. Constructor. Probably like your assembler, how you build things. Cargo boxes. A few more resources in here. But I will walk you guys. So there you go. So there's your oxygen tank. So in Space Engineers, you have your energy that you've got to always like refill on your suit. But in this, you've actually got O2 tanks. Right now, they don't actually do anything, but you're going to have to carry oxygen with you, meaning noting down where that one planet is where you set up that base and going down and picking up resources is probably going to be a thing. Oh, this is cool. Doing that with your friends? Yeah, pretty neat. Now, I do plan on asking the devs a bunch of questions, and I want your feedback while I try to find the fighter here. What questions do you want answered? Like, what do you want to know about this title as it's being made? There's about 12 days left in their Kickstarter as of the recording of this, and they're about... You know, they're not fully there yet, but I don't think a lot of people even know that this is a thing. Oh, here's the reactors. I kind of dig these. These remind me of the reactors from Firefly. Spinning around. But yeah, it's like, what do you guys want me to ask them to find out, like, what are their plans for development? Now, I know a bit. All right, that's the half-built ship. Let's go over to the fully fleshed out one. Here's the one that's actually built. And we'll go ahead and we'll fly over to the moon. Actually, let's see if we can jetpack it up, get over here, enter, see if I can actually get the landing gear on this to stick. All right, so there we go. See? Oops, I'm always hitting the wrong button. It's actually O to get out. Turn off our jetpack. So now maybe this thing will stay now that I've actually landed it. Because I want to bring it with us. But let's try to drive the capital ship over to the moon. And then use our spaceship to land. All right, so the bridge should be this way. There it is. We'll jump on over here and pilot the mothership. Switch to third person. Now, one of the things that's really impressive with this... Oh, yep, there we go, it's staying. The blue one won't. I bet. Yep, blue one just dipped out. But what's really impressive is it's running perfectly smooth with all these asteroids. And the view distance is incredible. When I first loaded this up, I took the fighter out for a spin, and I went all the way over to, like, the far side of the moon, and I could still see our capital ship chilling in the asteroid field back there, which was pretty neat. You can see the size of the cannons on this thing. You can see, like, the radar dishes on the back, and I really want to know more about what they're going to flesh out for ship subsystems and how oxygen's going to work. Like, what happens when you get a hull breach? Will you automatically put your helmet on and have to worry about, like, oxygen and going to refill your suit? Or, like, what's the plan? Will bulkheads auto shut? Like, what kind of detail do they want to go with? All right, so we're starting to approach the moon here. How is faster than light going to work? I can't open my map currently, so I can't see how big the universe is. But in the demo, the trailer, they showed hundreds of planets. And that really has me interested. I mean, right here, this is the biggest thing that I've wanted from Space Engineers, is I wanted a universe to explore, and I wanted to be able to visit other planets, moons, build space stations in different places, play with my friends, and have universe-sized goals. Will there be pirate NPCs out to pirate our capital ship? You know, like, will there be angry, hostile alien species that want to blow our shit up? Will we have an empire that we'll have to, you know, go to war with? All these things I want to know about. All right, so we're going to stop here in orbit of the moon. We're kind of on the side of the moon here, and we'll run over to... Let's run over to the ship, and we'll take the ship down. So, let's go back into first person. That's our plan. We're going to head down to the moon's surface. Definitely needs a texture upgrade. One small step for man, one giant step for gaming kind. Whoa, gravity's a lot lower here. Sweet. Welcome to the moon. And there, off in the distance, is the planet that we came from, Omicron. I can't actually see the asteroids. I'm not sure if we're on, like, the far side of it or not, how that works. But I I dig it. I definitely dig it. Like, if the rendering works this way and you can actually see the planets off in the distance, yes, that's what I want. That would be cool. Let's go ahead and equip the drill, and let's mine a little bit on this moon. Now, in the demo, there isn't a free build. You can only build by attaching on to other buildings, but that's just a limitation that they've got right now. They say they're going to work through and make it so you can free build anywhere. So let's just dig us a hole into the moon. Now, I have tested it, and holy crap, it gets dark fast down here. You're gonna have to have like torches and lights and stuff. I have tested it, and you can mine or dig holes into the asteroids in space. So those are totally, wow, it's dark. This is a little bit of a light source, but I need a torch. Let me get out of here. But yeah, like mining asteroids is totally a thing. Flying around a moon, an orbit of a planet that I was already standing on. Or playing in a multiplayer server, could you imagine talking to your buddies and knowing that they're currently building your base, right? They're growing the crops and they're making the food while you're out exploring the moon or the asteroids of that planet, or maybe you're a star system over talking to them on TeamSpeak. Like, that stuff has me really pumped for this. Let's go ahead and take a little tour of the moon here. We got a map. Do you have a map? Freaking huge ass map. See how fast I'm going compared to how big the map is. Jeez. I can hold down Alt and look around my cockpit. For how early in development this is, it definitely has me very excited about the possibility of it. We've got like machine guns and rockets. Calling in an airstrike when you've got a hostile alien species attacking your base, and they will too. In the demo video they show this base like we were looking at when we were sitting on Omicron. I'll actually bank over toward the planet, and it was under assault by like these rock golem dudes, and they were shooting. The turrets were firing, and you see them like evacuate the base and take off into orbit. So the biggest thing that I want to see right now from this game, that I want to see how the technology works, is going from planets to space. That would be the #1 thing on my list of things to see working in this demo. But let me know, okay guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you want me to ask the devs? What are your burning questions about this particular title? And I'll do another video, maybe a discussion video, answering those questions once I get them from the devs. Alright guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel for more gaming goodness and sci-fi goodness, and as always, thanks for watching. And I'll see you guys next time. Oh shit, turn up, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up. She's not very maneuverable. I think I'm gonna crash. I'm gonna land it. Oh, no damage yet. She didn't break. What is that thing?